action.
Hello, Mr. Revere. My name is Jennifer Carlone, and I'll be interviewing you about what happened on the night of April 18th, 1775. Please make yourself comfortable.
Thank you, Mrs. Carlone.
This is my first question. What was your indication that there was going to be trouble on that night?
Well, I was only one of around 30 skilled craftsmen who formed as a committee for the purpose of watching the movements of the British soldiers and gaining every piece of intelligence of the movements of the Tories. We were taking our regular turns watching in teams of 2 and 2 all night when last Saturday, April 15th, we began to notice that all the transport boats were being launched and tied beneath the sterns of the British warships after being brought in for extensive repairs. Then, on the evening of the 18th, we were notified by our intelligence network that the grenadiers and light infantry has suddenly been taken off their regular duties.
Wow. When were you sure that something big was really in the works?
We knew the minute we saw the troops transports being floated, but we were absolutely certain when we began to see many of the grenadiers and light infantry begin to make their way down the commons as the evening wore on. What many may not know is that we had set several pens in place because we have expected something like this to happen. Last September, they surprised us when they took our powder from the Cambridge storage on Powder Hill. But since then, we had been able to thwart them at every turn. In December, we got Ford, William, and Mary up in New Hampshire in time to remove the stores there, and then just this February, we were able to turn back Colonel Leslie from Salem on the same mission.
Wow, very interesting. What do you think was different about this action? Why do you think it erupted into such a big, long-running battle?
2 reasons. One, we had just had enough of these constant attacks on our English liberties. 2, they are not just after stores this time. They meant to arrest John Hancock and Sam Adams. It has gone beyond just closing ports and try to cut us off from all businesses. Now they're actually looking to do us bodily harm and take our citizens unjustly into custody. We have to fight back, or we will end up slaves to the English Parliament.
Wow, I would have been very scared. Sounds very scary. But you mentioned plans that you had put in place. Can you share any of those with our readers?
Well, for one, we worked out a signal to let those outside of Boston know if troops were coming and by what route. We were not at all sure that anyone would be able to get past the heavily guarded Boston Neck across the bay with those British warships in the water. At about 10 p.m., when Dr. Warren had received unaccessible confirmation that the redcoats were coming out, he notified me, and I notified John Pulling to put the notification plan in action. It was to hang a lantern in the Old North Church steeple if they were going out over the neck, or to hang 2 if they were going across the bay. That is why we had to wait for confirmation. We knew they were going out, and we were pretty sure because of the boats they were going across the water, but we had to be sure.
Weren't you concerned that the signal would be discovered? There are rarely lights lit up at night in those cheap church steeples.
Yes, ma'am, we were. That is why we only had Pulling light the lanterns for a few minutes and then get out. We had observers posted in Charlestown and elsewhere with fixed eyes on that steeple.
Oh. How did you manage to get across the bay?
We were. That is why we only had Pulling light the lanterns for a few minutes and then get out. We had observers posted in Charlestown and elsewhere with fixed eyes on that steeple.
Oh. How did you manage to get across the bay to Charleston with all those ships out there?
Well, between the direction of the tide, a little bit of breeze, and the direction the light of the moon happened to be at just the time we were able to, with muffled oars, to slide right beneath the bow of the HMS Somerset. Oh, and it sounds so easy, but now I can tell you that it was the longest hour, 30 minutes of my life while a couple of my friends rowed me across.
So this is my final question. Did you encounter any other trouble as you rode to Lexington?
Yes, I had been warned there were several patrols out, and I very nearly got caught by a couple of people of dragoons on the road to Cambridge. Fortunately, I had a very graceful force, and I was able to outrun them and take the road through Mount Medford instead. We didn't have any more trouble until we left Lexington after warning Hancock and Adams. Then, there I met William Dawes, who had made his way across the neck with the same alarm as I. We left the Concord along with young Dr. Samuel Prescott. About a third of the way there, we were surprised by a much larger patrol, and I was detained. Fortunately, Dr. Prescott made a way and got the word to Lincoln and Concord. Dawes took off the other direction, but got thrown from his horse and walked in safety back to Lexington.
Well, I want to say thank you for your time, Mr. Revere. I thought this story was most exciting, and I wish you well with your future.
You're indeed welcome.
Thank you.
You should start the Pony Express.